Okay, so we just finished our video on how you can use the oils in one way in particular, which is for aromatherapy, which is all about inhalation, getting those molecules not only into your lungs and out to the rest of your body, but into your brain, specifically the limbic system of the brain, the emotional center, the memory center of the brain. And one of the things I didn't mention is that there are a lot of times you will notice that when people inhale essential oils, which is one of the most common ways to use them, you will find that it kind of brings you back. So for example, if you're inhaling cinnamon, it may bring you back to, you know, grandma's cinnamon cookies. Or if you're inhaling, there's a blend called Christmas Spirit. I love it. It's like a combination of like pumpkin and cinnamon and nutmeg. And it really does make you think about those delicious homemade cakes and pies that your mom or your grandma used to make around the holidays. So it actually accesses that memory center within the limbic system of the brain. So it's really powerful. And just think of it this way. Not only can it bring you back to certain memories that are being held, because, you know, thoughts are energy and they get held in our body, but also it can help to release perhaps some negative thoughts that you've been holding on to. It can help you with that. So the oils, you know, not only do they help us to physically detox, but they can also help us to emotionally release as well, which is a wonderful thing. Okay, so that was inhalation. The second most common way to use the essential oils is through topical use. So with Young Living essential oils, you can apply them directly to your skin. That's called neat. Now I will tell you this, because this is all about being very transparent. There's some debate because there are different schools of aromatherapy. So Young Living goes more according to the French school of aromatherapy. However, the English school or the British school of aromatherapy follows such that you really shouldn't put certain essential oils directly on the skin. However, Young Living believes that you can, because they follow French school of aromatherapy. I will tell you what I learned, and I am not saying that this is factual, but I am telling you what I was instructed through all of those training courses and educational courses that I went through. What I learned was this. A lot of the guidelines for the English school of aromatherapy were set because when testing was done, they would take one or two compounds from an essential oil and they would test them on an animal. And if there was any type of skin reaction, then they'd say, oh, not good to be put directly on the skin. However, if you remember in our second video, I talked to you, I think it was the second or third video, I talked to you about how you cannot separate out compounds of an essential oil and look at it in pieces. You want to use essential oils as a whole in its entirety, because that was how it was created by our Creator. It was divinely created. That's my belief. So it is like a checks and balance system. In addition to that, when you test on animals and you apply onto, I believe it may have been rats, I'm not sure, but their hair almost acts like a wick. So that essential oil or the compound of the essential oil will get sucked into that area in a really powerful way. So of course there's going to be some type of reaction, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so for topical use, what do I want to put on today? Okay, let's choose, let's talk about oregano. So when you're using essential oils topically, there are a couple of cautions that you want to keep in mind. First of all, some of the oils are hot oils, such as oregano. That's one of the hot oils. Lemongrass, cinnamon, peppermint, those are all hot oils. And what that means is that when you place that oil onto your skin, you may feel heat, which is more than likely going to happen, but you also may see some reddening. So what do you do in situations where you're using hot oils? Well, you dilute the essential oil. And by dilute, I do not mean with water. Please understand that when you add water to an essential oil, it will drive that essential oil deeper into your skin. So it will actually make it feel hotter. So when we want to dilute essential oils, what you want to use is a carrier oil. So there are all types of carrier oils. Carrier oils are fatty oils. So almond oil, grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, coconut oil. Those are all different types. They have many different kinds of carrier oils, and you can pick which one is best for you. Now, I will tell you there is a difference. So some of those carrier oils, you will notice, are not as thick as others. The thicker the carrier oil is, the more it will slow down the absorption into your skin. So I'll give you an example. Coconut oil. Now, one of the things I didn't mention when I was listing all of those carrier oils is that you want to make sure that your carrier oil is organic. That is very important. You want to make sure that there are no synthetics present in that carrier oil, because when you combine it with the essential oil, then you chance the potential for, first of all, an allergic reaction because of the synthetics that are present. But in addition to that, the essential oil is now going to be attacking the synthetics that are within the carrier oil rather than working on you. You want the oils to work on you. So you can take a carrier oil like coconut oil or olive oil. Young Living has a blend called V6, and please do not mind the label. I've used it a lot, so as you can see, it's kind of worn out. And this V6 oil, I will tell you, for those people who are gluten sensitive, you may just want to check with your provider, because it does have wheat germ oil in it. Now, I am gluten sensitive. However, I do not seem to have any issues with this. And what I've been told by naturopathic providers is that the wheat germ oil is different than wheat that you would get and eat. It doesn't have the protein in it. So remember, we were talking about allergens, protein, amino acid, polypeptides in order for it to be an allergen. So the wheat germ oil within the V6 carrier oil blend, you know, it's up to you. Personal choice. For me, I love it. So this has coconut in it. It has sesame seed oil, sweet almond oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower, and olive oil, along with the wheat germ oil. So all you have to do, I'll give you an example, is you take a pinch of it into your hand, just a couple drops. You don't need a lot. You can go ahead and take your carrier oil. I'm going back to lavender. I'm in a relaxed day here. You can take a drop of that. Now, here's the thing. So if I want to rub an essential oil, let's say, onto my shoulder, just to ease some minor discomfort that I may be having there, if I go and take a drop of lavender oil and go to rub it, I will notice that it absorbs almost instantly. You'll probably feel like you didn't get all the way around your shoulder. But if you take a carrier oil and add that in, you're now able to spread it over a larger area, because it almost acts like an extender of sorts. So how do the carrier oils actually work with our essential oils? It's really simple. So the molecules of the carrier oil will then go and attach to the molecules of the essential oil. And what it does is it makes those molecules larger. So that way the absorption into your system is slower. And so that's how it would actually cut the heat that you would be feeling if you put a hot oil on you, like oregano. So quick story, and most people have either had this experience or heard my story. Peppermint oil. So I really like peppermint oil. And sometimes when I have a little bit of minor discomfort around my temples and in my forehead, in my head, I will take peppermint oil and I will actually dab it near my hairline. Well, on occasion, I have forgotten that I've had peppermint oil on my hand, and I will go and scratch my eye. It gets really hot. Really, really hot. What you do not want to do is go splash water in your eye. That makes it even hotter. So some people have talked about that they were able to use milk. I personally will just go take my carrier oil and I will just rub it around the orb of my eye, and it cuts the heat within seconds. So when you are using an essential oil, we were talking about the cautions. So first thing is that hot oils, you want to be conscious of where you're putting them. You want to be conscious of the fact that you may need to use a little bit of carrier oil. If you don't have this V6 oil, I'm sure you have olive oil in your cabinet. Most people have olive oil, so you can use that instead. In addition to that, where you're putting the oils on your body. So some areas of your body are more sensitive than others. But first of all, there's a rule of thumb. You never, ever, ever put essential oils into your eye or down into your ear canal. That's a big no-no. You want to be conscious of your mucous membranes. For people, certain people, they're more sensitive than others. They may have thinner mucous membranes. So putting an essential oil up into your mucous membrane can cause some type of discomfort. It can cause a little bit of burning. I will be honest with you, there are occasions where I kind of want to open things up, and I will take a drop of lavender onto a piece of tissue and I roll it up and I stick it up in my nostril and I walk around and I breathe it in, and yeah, there's a little sting to it, but then it kind of flushes everything out and I feel relaxed with it and I feel a little bit better. So that's just me, but that's a personal choice. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that's something that I do. I've heard of people adding them into their neti pot. So for those of you that don't know what a neti pot is, it's a great way to use, you use water with like a Himalayan salt, and dissipate the salt in the water. Warm water, and then you pour it into one nostril. It runs through your sinus cavity and comes pouring out the other nostril. So a lot of people will use a neti pot in order to help clear up their sinuses and support a balanced sinus cavity. So I do know some people have put lavender in there. I personally haven't done that. That's not something I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with running lavender up through my sinuses at this time. However, I'm okay with sticking a tissue with a little bit of lavender up my nose. Some people will actually just put a little oil right underneath their nose, just so that they're breathing it in. Perhaps oils that help the respiratory system. A little bit of peppermint right under there. Peppermint is a hot oil, so you'll get the little bit of that icy hot sensation there. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be using your essential oils on any of your genitalia, remember that there's thin skin there, so you want to be cautious. You also want to be cautious of the fact that it may be hot. So dilution is probably a really good idea if you choose to do that, but please, move forward with caution. All right, so that is, I think that's all of my tips on how to use the oils topically. You basically can rub them wherever you are. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. I almost forgot. I don't actually know that I can bring my foot up here, but I'm going to try. Oh, yep, you guys are really lucky today. I told you might be surprised by some of these videos. Okay, meet Mr. Foot. Or Miss Foot. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that on your feet, you actually have the ability to access all of the parts of your body. So when you put an essential oil on the bottom of your feet, first of all, you have the largest pores there on the bottom of your feet than anywhere else in your body. If you put an essential oil on there, it will absorb into every cell of your body in about 20 minutes. Some people will remember when their grandma used to put Vicks Vapor Rub on their feet and then put socks on them when they had congestion. Like that's that old family thing, old traditional recipe. And you'd wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you're not congested anymore. It's the same idea. So you're able to, first of all, access any part of your body through the bottom of your feet. So remember in the other video, I was talking about the back, the spine, Valor. Some people like to put that oil Valor, which is known as the Great Aligner. Some people have nicknamed it Chiropractor in a Bottle. And if you're single or you don't have anyone there to actually put the oil on you, then that's going to be a problem. You can't quite get, well, I can't quite get my whole spine. So one of the things that you can do is get your foot. I want to try to show you the whole foot here. Let's see if we can kind of get it in. All right, well, kind of, sort of. So right here at the bottom, this is where your coccyx is. And you are able to apply that oil right along that knife ridge of the foot. This is supposed to be the spinal pressure points and reflex points on the feet. So this is the coccyx all the way up, mid-spine, upper spine area. This comes into your neck, and the toe, the big toe, is your brain. My brain's pretty big, as you can see. So you can go through the bottom of your feet. That's a great way to actually use the oils. And it's also one of the ways that I would highly suggest for small children, which we will do a video on specifically for how to use oils with small children. Okay, so that is your next way that you can use the oils. We've done inhalation, and now we've done topical. So the last one that's left is internal. So stay tuned for that video.